It seems like Tia Kemp isn't letting up on Rick Ross anytime soon, as she's just called him out after his threat to confront Drake. Rick's recent involvement in the Drake and Kendrick feud, despite having no apparent stake, has turned into a personal crusade for him. Over the past week, he's been relentless in his attacks on Drake, leading many to speculate about his motives. Tia Kemp hasn't stayed silent amid Rick antics. She's been vocal about her displeasure ever since Rick inserted himself into the situation. This isn't the first time she's taken aim at Rick. Their relationship soured after their separation, especially when he neglected his responsibilities towards her and their son William while flaunting his affairs to provoke jealousy. Matters escalated when Rick's then-girlfriend, Christina McKay, began disrespecting Tia Kemp online, accusing her of stalking. Still harboring resentment over Rick's failure to address this disrespect, Tia Kemp has thrown her support behind Drake in retaliation. She recently went live on IG to expose Rick's long-standing jealousy towards Drake, claiming he'd often rant about Drake's success being undeserved. It's particularly hypocritical, as Rick would publicly pose with Drake while privately harboring ill will towards him, according to Tia's account. When Tia Kemp made these revelations, it really caught people off guard, shedding light on Rick's true feelings towards Drake despite their public facade of camaraderie. This prompted some to delve into Rick's history, uncovering instances where he had targeted Drake without provocation. In 2015, Rick waded into Drake and Meek Mill feud, siding with Meek and launching an unprovoked attack on Drake with his track Color Money in the lyrics. Rick took aim at Drake's relationship with Nicki Minaj, rapping about monetary success and implying Drake's vulnerability. Drake responded months later on Weston Road Flows, alluding to a romantic encounter with Rick's partner. This exchange continued with further lyrical jabs exchanged between them. However, rumors surfaced in September 2016 suggesting a behind-the-scenes meeting between Drake and Rick to resolve their differences. Rapper Noraga hinted at this reconciliation, emphasizing the need to move past conflicts for the greater good. If true, such a reconciliation could set a positive example for resolving conflicts within the industry. Later, Rick Ross himself confirmed the resolution of their feud in the following year, attributing it to a private conversation orchestrated by Jay Prince. Their reconciliation culminated in the release of 2 collaborative tracks in 2019, Money in the Grave and Gold Roses. Following this, it appeared that their relationship had been restored, with mutual respect apparent between them. However, tensions flared again recently when Rick Ross seemingly took Kendrick Lamar's side in the ongoing feud by unfollowing Drake on Instagram. Drake swiftly responded, expressing his frustration at feeling targeted by those aligning against him. Adding fuel to the fire, Rick extended an invitation to Christina McKay, providing her with an extravagant experience at one of his shows. Drake's reaction was swift, prompting Rick to retaliate by publicly endorsing Kendrick's diss track. This initiated a series of live appearances where Rick continued to disparage Drake. Despite his lack of involvement in the initial dispute, Rick even escalated matters further by releasing a diss track titled Champagne Moments, accusing Drake of cultural appropriation and even suggesting cosmetic surgery allegations. The lyrics insinuated Drake's desire to distance himself from his own race and questioned his authenticity in the industry. It's a surprising turn of events, considering Rick's previous efforts to reconcile with Drake and move past their differences. Drake reached his breaking point with the ongoing drama and decided to fire back with his new diss track, Push-Ups in it. He didn't hold back, taking aim at Kendrick Lamar by poking fun at his height and highlighting rumored struggles with his record deal. Drake's lyrics sarcastically questioned Kendrick's stature and financial situation, suggesting that Kendrick's success was overshadowed by Drake's own. Drake also directed his ire towards Metro Boomin, drawing comparisons between legendary producer Mike Dean and Metro current status. He asserted his dominance in the industry and dismissed Metro contributions. Interestingly, Drake chose not to directly engage with Rick Ross in his track, recognizing Rick's opportunistic involvement as mere attempts to ride the wave of controversy. As tensions escalated, Tia Kemp re-entered the fray, throwing her support behind Drake once more. She didn't mince words, labeling Rick as bitter and questioning his motives. Tia reiterated her belief in Drake's superiority and hinted at underlying jealousy on Rick's part, reaffirming her allegiance to Drake amidst the chaos. Some observers speculated on the motives behind the collective backlash against Drake, pondering whether envy of his success or other factors were at play. They highlighted Drake's immense achievements and his ability to attract admiration, suggesting that jealousy might be a driving force behind the criticism. Another commenter drew parallels between Drake and Jay-Z, emphasizing Drake's status as a dominant figure in contemporary hip-hop. They suggested that some rappers might feel threatened by Drake's success and influence, leading to animosity. As for Tia's defense of Drake against Rick Ross, it's understandable given the personal history and alleged mistreatment she endured from Rick. Her decision to support Drake reflects her loyalty and perhaps her own grievances with Rick's behavior. Regarding Rick's potential jealousy of Drake, it's certainly plausible given the competitive nature of the industry and past incidents where Rick has targeted Drake. However, without direct confirmation from Rick himself, it's challenging to definitively conclude his motivations. What do you think about Tia Kemp's stance and the dynamics between Drake and Rick? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out the linked video for more on this unfolding saga. The ongoing feud between Rick Ross and Drake has certainly stirred up a lot of attention, with Tia Kemp stepping into the spotlight to voice her support for Drake amidst the chaos. Tia's involvement adds a personal dimension to the drama, given her history with Rick and her vocal criticism of his behavior. Rick's recent actions, particularly his alignment with Kendrick Lamar and the public endorsement of Kendrick's diss track against Drake, have reignited tensions between him and Drake. This latest development follows a pattern of intermittent conflicts and reconciliations between the two artists over the years. The underlying motives behind Rick's actions are subject to speculation, with some suggesting jealousy as a driving factor. Tia's assertion of Rick's long-standing jealousy towards Drake sheds light on a possible explanation for his behavior, especially considering their complex history and past incidents where Rick has targeted Drake. Drake, on the other hand, has responded to the escalating drama with a new diss track aimed at Kendrick Lamar, Metro Boomin, and others. His decision not to directly engage with Rick Ross in the track suggests a strategic approach to the situation, recognizing Rick's opportunistic involvement as an attempt to capitalize on the controversy. The dynamics between Drake and Rick Ross, as well as Tia's involvement, raise questions about loyalty, motives, and the competitive nature of the hip-hop industry. Tia's unwavering support for Drake reflects her personal convictions and her desire to stand up against perceived injustices. Overall, the ongoing saga highlights the complexities of relationships within the music industry and the interplay between personal grievances, professional rivalries, and public perception. As the feud continues to unfold, it remains to be seen how it will ultimately impact the careers and reputations of those involved.